Hello, everybody, and
Hi.
welcome to Empowerment Through Intuition. Tonight's topic, does God talk to us through nature? I am Nora Truscello, a two-time best-selling author and international speaker on intuition, and my partner,
Chris Gurganus from Conversations with Chris. I'm a medium and a psychic and a healer and a teacher.
And tonight we are going to talk about, does God speak through nature? Hi, Erin. I'm so glad you jumped on already. And Lori, always good to see you. Courtney, hi, sweetie. Good to have you on board. So, God speak to us through nature. Well, Chris and I right away want to say, yes, of course he does.
Well, there's a lot of different ways God talks to you through nature. You can see colors, you can see signs in traffic, you can see little road signs on the side. When you're thinking something in your head, I have this little church that I go by when I go to work. And every once in a while, I don't look at the sign every week. And every once in a while, I'll be thinking something, and I look over, and there's the answer on the little church sign. And I'm like, okay, God, I got you.
Exactly. And that's what is really important to understand. Yes, God speaks through nature, but God speaks to us all the time, everywhere. He'll talk to us in a traffic jam. He does not just speak to us in nature, but we as humans find nature is a way to hear God easier because it's so much quieter. And it's a
More
natural
peaceful.
setting, right? And by being natural, everything around you is God created.
And it's grounded better.
And it's not man created. Now, somebody could say, well, even cars are created by God and da. Yes, when you get down to it, everything is by God. But being around mechanical things versus being around pure nature just from God, totally organic of him, sort of like a commodity, it's the basics. You do have a closer, more comfortable feel.
And the vibrations are a lot higher in nature than they are on a highway. Because on the highway, you're getting the vibration of all the cars, all the traffic, the people, the thoughts. You don't have that out in the middle of the woods. You don't have that sitting on the beach. You don't have that in the park sitting next to on the gazebo watching the stream go by. You don't have all those vibrations and extra added energies. And that's one of the reasons God pulled nature in, is for people when they want to take a break and they want to see and listen to what he's got to say. Just look around. The clouds. I love the clouds. The clouds really do things for me. They put signs up there. You can play and, lay on the beach. You can lay on the park floor, and you can just look at the clouds, and they make funny faces for me. They put angels in there. Or when you're driving and all of a sudden the clouds, the rays of the sun come through the clouds. That's like, heaven speaking.
Aaron, this is exactly what we're saying. He uses anything he can to reach us. And we're pretty thick-headed, so he has to find whatever useful means there is. Maria, welcome. Glad to have you join us again. Carla, good evening. Nice to have you. So one of the things that often happens is you will get answers from signs, we'll get answers from license plates, we'll get answers from the way the traffic is moving. For example, if I'm in a traffic jam, that shouldn't be like, it's just like, it's backed up and it never backs up at this time. Sure, I can blame it on the car accident or something, or I can look at it and say, it's God telling me, take a break, slow down. You need to relax a little. Use this time to talk to me. When I notice, and I'm on the road a lot, so when I'm driving, if I notice cars are just barely missing me, the way they're going around me, it's like really close. That's God saying, there's some kind of anger within me that I need to process. This is how I interpret it, and it always seems to be right. And once I process it, once I release it, once I forgive myself for being that angry, forgive the person, let it go, all of a sudden the cars aren't like just missing me, almost causing major accidents. And the same with nature. I was telling Chris just before we got on, last summer, it was the beginning of last summer that I decided
That was really funny.
that I was no longer going to keep my regular job, that this is now my calling. I will be only teaching, I will be writing, I will be doing lectures. This is my life. I'm willing to take the chance and leave my job. I'm in my backyard and I'm doing some gardening, and I find a used fortune cookie, the little piece of paper. I mean, it rained the night before, and here's this little piece of paper, and it says, your goals and career are rapidly changing for the better. It was something along that line. I actually have it taped up in the other room. It was so profound. Like, really? It rained, and that particular fortune cookie piece of paper ends up in my garden? That's a message from God saying, yes, it's okay. You're doing good, kid. Take the jump. So,
or if you open up like your Facebook or you open up your email, and I had somebody tell me today they opened up their email or their Facebook, and there were angel wings there today telling them it's not time to give up, go on. You have the courage and the strength. And they were just texting me, telling me they didn't know how they were going to get through the day. And they said, this isn't funny. The angels think they're funny, Chris. And I said, I think they're hysterical.
And it's true, you do. Facebook, all of it. There is nowhere God doesn't talk to us. So
they'll use whatever environment they can get. If they can manipulate your computers and your Facebook, because that's your environment for today. If you're outside, if you're in traffic, wherever your environment is, nature is easy for them.
If we just aren't around it enough. Carla, nice to have you on board. Thanks for joining us again. And every time I hear a dove coo, I feel God's spirit. That's beautiful. And that's the thing. We're interpreting it, guys. We are putting it out there, but you know when it's right. You get that feeling. Kate, I love getting little signs like that. It always is reassuring and comfortable. And that's what God's trying to do.
A lot of times my clients will ask me, a question, and then they'll be talking on the phone, and then they'll go in their house and they'll say, I just went in the house and this feather wasn't on this doorstep. I said, well, I'm trying to tell you, God already said yes. As I was saying yes, she was stepping on the feather. She goes, this feather wasn't here when I walked out of here 5 minutes ago. I said, well, the boss has ways of making things happen. What can I tell you?
And if you expect to see feathers, you're going to see feathers. God's going to work with you.
Whatever makes you
right. He's not going to send you pennies from heaven if you're accustomed to seeing feathers to trigger that it was a heavenly response. He makes it easy. He's not trying to be difficult.
He's going to make you feel it in your heart, whether it's an animal cooing like a dove, a cat, rubbing up against your leg, a bunny or a set of bunnies, like at the end of your driveway, so you can just see the little family of bunnies and go, oh, aren't they so cute? Not the fact that they're going to eat all your vegetables in your vegetable garden, but
I don't
really
think they're too cute when they come around.
I think they're adorable. My husband, my fiance, on the other hand, is like, get them out of my garden. I'm like, oh, don't be running over my bunnies now, hon. He sends the dog out after him.
Renee, welcome on board. Glad to see you joining us. Erin's having technical difficulties today. That is not okay. Angels, we need your help. Keep Erin on. We're going to take a 2-second commercial break here. A lot of you guys have asked us to do another show. So Chris and I looked at our schedules and said, how can we make this work? And we're going to do another show similar to the one in South Philly. There'll be a topic that we discuss, and we will do a gallery read. It will be in September. Now, it's up to you where it's going to be. Please list the state that you are in, that you're listening to the show. If you're New Jersey, California, New Hampshire, we don't care. At the end of every show, we will count them up. And whatever state has the most requests, or most, hey, this is where I'm listening from, that is where we'll go book a room. So we might be in Texas, California, New Jersey, or back here in Philadelphia. It's going to be up to you guys.
Hawaii follow along?
Yeah. Hawaii would be awesome. We'll take that.
I could write this off as a really nice business expense.
So you, Ohio, Indiana, New York, I love it, guys. So that's it. And every time you watch the show between now and June 30th, you are welcome to put your state again. So definitely we want to do that. And please take a moment and share and throw in a couple cute little likes. We always like those little hearts floating by. They just make us feel loved. So, okay, that's the end of the commercials. Now back to the show. We were reading, Chris and I were just looking over some stuff, some notes, and we saw the Old Testament story of Gideon. And I'm going to give it to you real brief. Gideon was asked by God to free the Israelites, and Gideon was not a man of war, and he was
very timid.
Yeah, and it was sort of like, you seriously want me to go forth and do a military action? I need a sign, God. Now, it's okay to ask God for signs. This is what the Old Testament is teaching us. And he says, I'm going to lay a fleece outside tonight. Let the dew be all over the fleece, and let the fleece be wet, but have the ground around the fleece be dry. So the next morning he went out, and the fleece was so wet he could squeeze an entire bowl of water out of it. And even then he says, do you mind? I just need a reassurance. I'm still a little scared. I know you said yes, but do you mind doing it in reverse? Make the ground wet and let the fleece be dry before I move out into battle? And that's exactly what God did. The fleece was dry, the ground was wet. Gideon went forth and, needless to say, won that war. So why are we sharing that? It's because you can ask for how you would like the answer to be. People who pray to Saint Teresa, often Saint Teresa of the Little Flower, there's a few Saint Teresas, will pray knowing that if Saint Teresa intercedes for them and starts praying for them, they will see a rose, because that is her symbol. And you'll see a rose in an unusual place where you don't expect it, coming out of snow. Somebody just delivered roses to you, or a friend has roses and they never had roses in their house. Whatever, you're going to see it in an unexpected place, not in a florist window. That's kind of expected. That's cheating. So there's many, many things you can do to ask.
You can get the answers if you're looking and asking God for specifics. He'll answer you specifically. You just have to ask him for something that you can identify. And it doesn't have to be anything anybody else can identify, just as long as you can identify it. And sometimes I just tell him, listen, getting a little dense down here. Can you make it a little brighter, make it a little stronger? Send it by a couple more times because it didn't quite hit home. And then he sends it, and then by the third time you feel like a real idiot, and you're like, yeah, I think I got that one. And sometimes he'll send us on missions even after he gave us the answers, because he wants us to understand what a blessing it was. I had somebody recently that I actually helped, and we literally went on a goose chase. And we had already been given the answer with 4 verifying markers. And then we're both making phone calls. We're trying to help this situation, and we're going crazy, pulling in favors from all over, trying to make this work. In the end of the day, I asked, why do we have to go through all that if this was still going to be the answer? And God said, I wanted you to understand what a blessing this was, that it wasn't going to be just any kind of blessing, that's how huge the blessing was. He wanted us to understand it as humans. I was like, okay, thanks. Thanks, boss. Got an education.
I'd love you guys to throw up any of you that have experience specifics. Share with us. We'd love to know. Shauna, welcome on board. Dave, it's always great to see you too. we'd like to hear some of your stories because we could probably go on for hours sharing personal stuff that's happened for us. But it's more fun to be kind of back and forth. Whoa, okay, now they're popping. Carla, be reverent while watching so you open to receive the signs or messages. Okay, I'm assuming you mean when you're asking for the sign to be reverent. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Always. That's prayerful, reverent.
Yeah, because if you're not serious about what you're asking for, you're not going to get a serious response. Like if you go into it half-hearted, you're going to get a half-hearted response because that's how you ask.
Okay, this is really interesting. Maria, I had an orb travel down the hallway ceiling and open up to a prism that opened up on my ceiling, and it was one of the most beautiful things I've seen. What was it? That to me is somebody just recently who passed, who's letting you know, and the colors and the prisms are just amazing, and you just wanted to stay there so you could, so other people can see it. So that was a loved one sending you a message.
I get a female wanted to show you the colors of heaven and how vibrant they were.
And that's probably the person, a sudden breeze against my face and arms. It comes and then it goes. That is probably, that could be a message from above. I'm sorry, it's a different Maria. Sometimes I feel a sudden breeze against my face and arms. It comes and then it goes. Is it a message from above? If you were asking a question, yes. But how do you know if that means yes or no? So you have to be clear. If you're going to ask for an answer, a yes being a breeze on your arm, like Gideon asked, let the fleece be wet or let the fleece be dry in the second one. He made it specific. He's like, God, I'm not testing you, but I'm asking for an answer. And the only way I can understand the answer is if you do it for me this way. So Maria, God, I'm asking a question. And for me as a mortal to understand, I'm asking that I feel some kind of breeze with some kind of comfort on my face and arms as a yes. And if I don't get that, I'll know you're saying no. And you pray on that, and that's how you present it.
But a breeze usually that comes and goes is a spirit yeah. That's coming by and they're just kind of giving you like a little hug, a spiritual hug.
Hi, Diane. We love you. We miss you. We love seeing you on the show. Lori, great question. Are swirls of leaves a sign from God?
Well, if you're talking to the trees, like Nora and I tend to do when we're driving.
I swear, it's autumn. It's nature. It's God's dancing with me. It's like when my husband thinks I'm nuts. But when I drive during the autumn season, ever notice trees don't just drop their leaves? They literally pop off the trees. It's like it goes poof, it pops out and goes down. I'm like, watch, honey, they're going to pop for me. And it's like, I just expect the trees, that God's going to celebrate nature with me because I'm asking it and I know it. And we'll drive down the road and every tree, as we approach it, all of a sudden their colorful leaves go boom, right off, boom, the next one, boom. And he's just like, you're nuts. I'm like, no, I'm not. And the swirling of the leaves is nature dancing. Now that's my interpretation for me.
It's joy with nature.
So you have to ask yourself, what question is going on for me that this is my answer? You know, it's not like you're going to just you're going to see God everywhere, but that doesn't mean he's answering a question. That's what I'm trying to say, to be clear. You're going to see him everywhere. So I see him in the nature stuff. I see him telling me there's something wrong when I'm on a highway, that I'm holding anger if things are getting dangerous. But if I have a specific question, I'm going to approach it the way Gideon did and say, this is how I would like the answer, if it is okay with you, if it is in your will. You don't do anything without it being in his will.
And sometimes if you're walking through the park and you're just kind of sad, nature will help you lift your spirits, whether it's the rays of sun coming through the clouds or them able to swirl some leaves in front of you to dance for you, they'll try and help you. So think about your emotions at the time, where your mind is at, where your heart is at, before you decide whether it's an answer or it's just, them trying to give you a little hug. Because they could be doing both at the same time.
True. This is great. Gina didn't fall asleep this time and missed a show. I want to take a moment and publicly thank Gina. She helped Chris and I so much with the event. You just blew me away. I have not seen Gina since I was like 14, and she just came out of the blue to help me with this show, and she made such a difference for us. So, given that little thing I just said about Gina, I just want to bring up one more time, well, probably at least another time after this. Chris and I are going to do another show in September, but we will not decide where the show is going to be until June 30th. If you want us to be in your state, just type in right now what state you're listening to us from. Whatever state has the most votes, we will go to.
Everybody say Hawaii.
So Chris is pushing for Hawaii. I'd like you to be honest. Hawaii would be great. I'm good with anywhere, but please put in the state you're watching the show at, and that's the state. Whichever one gets the most votes, we will go to.
We can all go to Hawaii, folks.
Yeah. Okay, so Kate, I felt a strong connection with an old friend and knew it was coming from another friend who had passed. My friend who passed wanted me to check in on the person. Come to find out, that person had started abusing drugs again that day and woke up, call from heaven through me. He ended up having a dream with the friend in it and has been clear ever since. Clean ever since.
Because he got a wake-up call from heaven.
I think that's absolutely powerful and beautiful. And thank you so much, Kate, for sharing that. It wasn't just a dream. You had a sense, you yourself had a strong connection. You yourself got the message. You took that step. You took that leap of faith to follow it through. What a beautiful story. And I'm sorry, I kind of struggle when I'm trying to read these things. It's like,
she doesn't have her glasses on.
Well, see, my problem is that's the perfect distance. That's out of focus. But if I put on glasses, it's not far enough, so it's still out of focus. So forget it. What am I going to tell you?
We have to put the screen a block away so she can see.
So I can see it with glasses, but then it won't work.
And I just have to be on top of the screen so I can see.
So between the two of us, you guys are figuring it out. But thank you, Kate. Really, thank you for sharing that. I love hearing these kind of stories. Renee finds feathers constantly. Now, Renee, are those feathers answering a question, or are they just giving you confirmation that God's there, your angels are there? That's something you want to ask.
I think it's usually, whether they're there or they're answering the question that may not have already been asked, or the situation hasn't already arose. It's just they're trying to say it's going to be okay.
I love it. Works for me. Maria, the breeze feels comforting. Usually happens when I'm sitting outside at night thinking about something important. That's beautiful. So most likely it is confirmation telling you, yes, you are comforted. You are being cared for. You are being watched over. So it's almost like you are fulfilling God. You are following God's will. This is your path.
They're trying to help you understand you're loved. And that's why it feels so warm and comforting, so that you don't get scared, even though it's a scary choice that you have to make. It's outside your comfort zone.
I like that. Aaron, I once got this feeling not to go down a road I took every day. I turned to my then fiance and said, "Stop, don't go down this way." Suddenly, clouds came across the road and we were forced to turn around. The next day, I learned that around the very next turn, a woman had been murdered. I truly believe he saved us just using fog.
Wonderful.
I got chills. That's beautiful. That is an absolute sign through nature. That's fabulous. Thank you for sharing that. So Yeah, you don't have to ask a question. Nature is always, God is always speaking to us, whether through nature, fog, or other, man-made things like cars and signs. I'm going to rat out my sister. She asked a question, and all of a sudden there's a billboard. I mean, we're talking billboards, people. She gets her answers from billboards. And the answer will be right there on the billboard, like, go get them, girl. It's just, okay, got it, God. Oh, God, I've really been, because she's a real prayer warrior. So she's always talking to God. It's like, yeah. And then a truck will go by with the whole side of the truck painted, and will be her answer. Like right then, every time. Billboards, trucks. I mean, we're not talking little signs like a feather drops by, a little breeze. She's like, no, I need it big and bold. And he gives it to me big and bold. So if you're a little, you want it big and bold, ask.
Telling you, it's really kind of scary how big and bold it can get.
Well, it works. Okay. Colin, when my husband died, I went into shock and felt a presence in my home. I got fixated on 3 orbs in a certain spot in my house. I was somewhere else, but couldn't understand, like a trance. Could that have been my husband, or it doesn't seem to be happening now, but it did for a month or longer after he died.
What, the 3 orbs?
I think she's saying the 3 orbs and the being transported, like she got fixated on the orbs and felt transported, and I'm assuming that happened more than once, the way she said it.
Well, I think it's the other side trying to bring you into a state of peace. And your husband and the spirit guides that he had bringing along with him as orbs, so that he didn't get stuck on the side, because he very much wanted to communicate with you. So they kind of like tranced you and took you to the mid-heaven so that you could grieve. Kind of like a midway. He'll come down, you come up, and you kind of like meet in the middle.
And Chris has spoken before about how when spirits really want to come through and they have not had enough energy, God helps them with mighty angels to give them the strength so that they can just make that quick contact and still make it and still have the strength to be where they need to be spiritually with their soul. Don't ask us to try to explain the physics of it, because we wouldn't have a clue.
I have no idea. I just tell you how it happens.
Well, yeah.
And I only tell you because that's how the angels tell me. And I ask them, that's a little odd, don't you think? And they're like, please, this is how it works. This is how you guys will understand it, and just go with it. I'm like, okay.
Okay, Renee voted for New Jersey, so
Hawaii, it looks like people. Hawaii.
No. Vote for the state you're in, because I really want to get an idea of what states are listening. So New Jersey so far has got 2 votes, West Virginia, New York, Indiana, and Ohio. I like all those places. I don't think I've ever been to Ohio.
Hawaii.
But West Virginia's gorgeous.
I know it is. In the fall, it's beautiful.
Fall, oh, come on, West Virginians. Get it in there. Okay, get your friends, share, and tell them that you want us to be over. So this is how it has to be. Okay, let's get back to seriousness here. Oops, I scrolled down too far and I lost my place.
She can't figure it out.
Gina said it was her pleasure and she loves us ladies. Thank you, sweetie. Lori wants to come wherever we go.
Hawaii, that's where she wants to go.
Maria's voting PA and DE, so I guess she's kind of lives in both states. Diane, ladies, my tree, the white oak, never loses its leaves until the new ones come. I feel like it's some kind of protection. What do you ladies think? She does have a beautiful oak outside. I know, Diane. And I actually said to her, when I went to her house not too long ago, I'm like, Di, your oak didn't drop its leaves yet. She goes, it never does. It never does until the new ones come.
Yeah, but they're telling me it's her grandmother.
Oh.
Grandmother likes to play with that tree.
Interesting.
And she knows that Diane likes looking at it. Makes her happy to look at it.
All right, so it's a little bit more than protection, and probably Grandmama is giving some protection there. I think that's sweet.
She likes it.
Carol, thanks for the New Jersey vote. Laura, we got Ohio. And Michelle, we got PA. Gina, of course, it's South Philly. Oh, you guys are funny. Denise, welcome onto the show. Nice to have you. Um, Maria, yep, Chris, you are the best.
Thank you, Hawaii.
No, I think Maria was referring to the information you provided for her below in reference to the breeze feeling comfortable outside at night. Nice try. She wasn't saying Hawaii.
I thought I was getting a Hawaii in there.
She also saw a church sign today that said the 10 Commandments are not multiple choice. I love that. That's great. It's true. It's not multiple choice. Okay.
You mean I can't go around killing people? A, B, or C?
Christina just voted for Indiana. I think that's our second Indiana. We might be going to Indiana. Indiana.
Road trip.
Okay. All right, let's get serious. Sorry, guys. Why is it that I get feelings that someone is going to get sick or someone is going to die, and it happens within a day or weeks? For some reason, that person pops up in my mind, and then I find out what I thought about. Then I find out what I thought about happens.
Premonitions.
Yeah, and you need to start reading a little bit about intuitive footprints. And yes, this is a shameful plug. I love to teach people about this stuff, and you are sensitive, and you are picking up, and you are. Premonitions are some of the most profound, most useful gifts God provides for us.
Where's a copy of the book?
He doesn't sucker punch us with, I'll get it in a second. While you're talking, I'll look for it. He doesn't sucker punch us with things in life, even though it feels like it. There were signs, there were messages, there were premonitions provided to help you prepare. And the really amazing thing is science has proven that we actually perceive what's going to happen just moments before it happens. So we're actually responding in the past. We think we're in the present right now, but we're not, because our minds are actually already perceiving and know what's going to occur. So if a science can prove that it's there for a nano of a second or just a few moments, don't you think God is sending you even more? So yeah, Maria, absolutely, these are premonitions and they're beautiful. Ohio has great lakes and wines. One vote per show. Hello from California. I love it. Okay, you know it. I'd love me a good beach. All right, guys. I'm chopping up the way I'm reading, but you guys are typing it like you're speaking, so I apologize. Denise, welcome aboard. Nice to see you. Dave, New England. Dave, you don't live in New England. You're not watching the show from New England. You're watching the show from Delaware. So does he Delaware or Pennsylvania border? I don't know.
Border.
You're on the border. You're from one of those states. That's what you're supposed to put. But I do love New England in the fall. Dad from PA. Ruiz, Orlando. Hello, and you're from California. All right, wow, California. We might be going to California.
We're getting closer to Hawaii.
This is too much fun, guys. I'm loving this. Thank you so much for the for this. South Philly again. And Tina, hi. We haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. All right. Down to business, because I love the stories and I want you guys to keep sharing with us. Melissa, I made a garden in my yard for my dad after he passed. It's under a beautiful tree. I put his favorite flowers and brought some rocks from his house and put them there, along with a bird feeder and bath. So many things I added. My boys and I see my dad sitting there often. Oh my gosh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That's just beautiful. There's nothing to add, you know. You can welcome your loved ones in such beautiful ways. All right, Maria. Okay, birds always nest each spring in the eaves of both our front and back porches near the doors. baby birds are born, mama and papa birds feed and care for their young, and we have a front row seat. That's God's just showing you new life every spring and every fall. I mean, it's like all the time
And
you're
that's
getting new
abundance.
births.
New life is abundance in the universal flow.
And now, when you think of feng shui, you got it at the front and in the back. I mean, it's like no matter how the energy is moving, I tend to think that financially you're doing well and you're comfortable and you got abundance in family and love. That's awesome. And Renee, no, it doesn't count because you're not watching from Hawaii. Oh, you guys are going to kill me. All right. Ruaz from California, what does it mean? Oops, the screen jumped down. Excuse me, guys. What does it mean when you dream of demons or have a bad dream, but in your dream you've always praying and you come victorious over these bad demons or things? Oh, girlfriend, I like you. Not in that way. I am happily married. We did a show on dreams. I could do a show on dreams every week.
Oh, yes, you could.
When you're dreaming and demons are attacking, hold on to your seat. They are attacking. You are literally in a spiritual warfare. You're probably very spiritual. You're probably a very prayerful person. You're probably a prayer warrior because this happens to us. We are battling in our dreams, but we're not in our dreams. We're actually in an altered state. Hence, the prayers wipe them out, knock them out, and we end up victorious. But it can be horrifically frightening and exhausting if you don't know the words to say, if you don't know what to do. You obviously know.
You also need to make sure if it's happening night after night after night, that you make sure you've got your guardian angels up, you've smudged the property, you've got your holy water ready, and eat a lot of protein. Otherwise, you're going to get weakened.
And you're going to be exhausted.
Right. So the only thing to combat it is stay away from any kind of liquor, wine, any kind of additives, and stay as pure and clean in your diet. Protein and vegetables. Just lots of protein and vegetables. And that'll keep your energy level up without adding too many carbs and too many extra things to pull you down.
And the fact that you say this happens often really tells us that you're
praying a lot.
You're praying a lot, and you are to the demons. You are an enemy, a threat. Like the demon isn't worried about the drug addict. He already got him. The demon's not worried about the guy who knows that this guy's stuff. It's so primitive. He already got him. But he doesn't have you. You're a threat. So they try to wear you down. Again, St. Teresa, but a different St. Teresa, not St. Teresa of the Little Flower. This is St. Teresa of Avalon. I'm butchering it. But they would attack her every single night. And all she would say is Jesus. Just that word, the name of the Lord, with reverence. And they would tumble and just boom, move out of the way, roll out. They would run in agony, and she would enjoy it. She would
giggle.
Jesus, Jesus, and then watch them go. I mean, her story is amazing, and because they would go after her every night. They went after Padre Pio every single night. So it's honorable that you're a target of Satan or the devil, because it's just showing how powerful you are and how good you are. And this isn't just for Christians, guys. There is a dark force out there, whatever your religion. There is a dark side. There is the right side and the wrong side. So you apply the names that you need to apply to make sense. But us being Catholics, hey, we're going to use the terminology we're used to. So Diane, in reference to the tree, says, thank you. My grandmother loved to be outside. She never left the state of West Virginia. There's that West Virginia. I want West Virginia boats. Her whole 82 years of life. I guess she's checking other places out now. That's so cute. Thank you for sharing that, Diane. I love it. Gina, by the way, ladies, to validate Chris, she was right about what she said at the show. My grandfather handled my situation. I talked about with Nora, amazingly, what happened when you let go and let God. Thank you both. Oh, Gina, that's wonderful because I do remember it was
I had no idea.
It was her grandmom who's like in and out of this world and back, this world and back. She's quite old. Is Gina's grandfather. We asked that he provide the words that will help grandmom to make a very important financial decision for herself before she moves on. And you know what a nightmare that can be when our loved ones don't handle the paperwork.
Oh yeah.
It can be ugly. All right, so Diane's voting West Virginia for grandma. I think that counts. Thank you, Di.
Then Renee's Hawaii counts for me.
Well, no, she doesn't have a relative. We have a dead relative voting.
Now the spirits count too.
I think a dead relative
counts. Come on, Hawaii.
All right. You're just being.
Yeah, she's afraid I'm going to win this one.
Yeah.
And we call it the spirit world.
I don't know if I could handle another long plane ride. I'm going to Bangkok in 2 weeks, guys. It's 25 hours.
See this
of
little
flying.
violin that I'm rolling? It's
25 hours. I know it is, isn't it? I'm going to be there. I'm going to have a blast. I'm going to be there for 2 weeks, and I get to be at a wonderful spiritual and psychological conference, and I've been honored to be one of the speakers, and the rest of the time I'm going to enjoy with my husband just touring the country. And
sad people. I'm just so sad.
Okay, all right.
Not.
Aaron is commenting on Riaz from California. I've had similar brothers. You are never alone. I had one so bad, I started praying in my dream, and the angels literally rushed between us and pulled me away. Exactly. And from what I read on Aaron's post and stuff, because a lot of us are Facebook friends, so I see it. I know she's a strong prayer warrior also. Maria loves Padre Pio. So do I. There's a beautiful Padre Pio shrine in Pennsylvania. Yeah, so and it's not that far from here in South Philly. I think it's like a 15-minute ride. I was there a couple times. It's so
peaceful.
It's beyond peaceful. It's the weirdest thing. The place is just, as soon as you get out of your car, you feel like you've been altered. Yeah, I had that experience one other time.
I like the benches. I like to just sit there.
Yeah. And that's, again, nature, but it's also really a prayed up area. So wherever there's a lot of prayer, there's going to be a lot of good energy. All right, Denise, I had the most horrible dream in 1993. Till this day, I hate to even think about it. Thank God for St. Michael. He saved me.
He saves us all.
He's like our best buddy. That's beautiful. And this is bad dreams, really horrible dreams when they're involving demons and fighting. There's no message other than to say for you that you're under attack because of who you are and the way you live your life. And that's a beautiful thing, even though it's a horrific situation. But on dreams in general, a nightmare is usually, if you break it down properly, you're going to find an extremely valuable message. And I can't get into it because this isn't the Dream Show. It is on YouTube, or you can find it on Chris's website or my website, The Dream Show. But nightmares and highly sexually charged dreams are carrying very significant, important messages. And the reason why the angels or God creates the nightmare or the sexually charged part is so that you don't forget it. So there's something significant there. Renee, you are a wise guy. My friend lives in Hawaii. Well, your friend has to watch the show and vote for Hawaii. Otherwise, it doesn't count. Dawn, hi, Chris. Oh, yes, Gina, there'll be a lot of wine on the plane. It's 25 hours, you better believe it. Okay, so we're joking around a whole lot, and I love being with you guys. But I do want to just say one more time, because there's 15 minutes left to the show. One, throw in comments, share the show. You guys make us there's such an awesome community. I feel like it's a community of friends, and share it. Let's get more people in with it. Let's get it more open. And of course, hit those likes and those little hearts because they just make Chris so happy.
They really do.
Yeah. And if you see any comments from another person and you just feel like you like to talk to them, comment with each other. It's not just Chris and I. You guys have some awesome, valuable insight. And I don't want it to just be Chris and I. It's a community that Chris and I are putting together and holding together by doing the shows, but it's you guys also that can help each other, and we learn from you too. Okay, so real quick, the commercial. One more time. We are going to do another show like we did in South Philly. We are going to do it in September. We will not decide where it's at until June 30th. And June 30th, we are going to count up all the people from what states they watched the show. If you watch it in Ohio, you can vote every time you watch the show, Ohio. We will count that. So it's not one vote and done. It's one vote per show. Whatever state gets the most votes at the end of June 30th is the place where we will start booking the event. And driving ourselves crazy, trying to make it all work out, but we will. Okay, so let's jump back to the board before we run out of time. Chris, if you keep asking for Hawaii, you know you're going to end up getting it, especially with the stories you've told me about getting front row parking spots at stores. It's so true. I used your trick, and I have had to walk far for over a year. It's actually not a trick. This is what we talked about just a couple of weeks ago about manifestation.
Well, I manifested a side parking lot in South Philly on Broad Street. You could park a city bus in the spot I got today. And I was like, yeehaw, right in front of the door. I was like a happy little 5-year-old.
Listen, I don't mind manifesting Hawaii. It's just we got to manifest the ability to finance a Hawaii one. They're very expensive to do conferences in Hawaii. I'm the business one here, so I get nervous. But if it's meant to be, God will make it happen.
The angels will throw in a little curveball and give you some money.
Renee, I have this dream. My mom was in the basement baking pies. There was a lion next to her. She was petting this lion. Not sure what this means. You know what it means? It means I need to do another show on dreams because you guys are bringing up such awesome ones. So if it's all right with you, I think we should do another one next week on dreams. Okay. And if you guys agree, just say yes, dreams. So we know we're not, going to bore you with another dream one. But what do you think? There was a lion next to her.
Lion is power and strength.
And she was petting it.
She's trying to tell you she has power and strength.
So even from the other side, she has power and strength. And the fact that she was baking a pie is loving, and she's there for you. And you can count on her to do what she can from the other side for you. Now, that's our interpretation. When you watch the dream show, you might have a totally different interpretation.
Okay, there's another one.
Here we go. Okay, Maria, sorry to keep posting. Oh, no, don't worry about it. We have fun. Speaking of St. Michael, I had a dream that I was going to have a son, and I had to name him Michael after St. Michael. Do you know why? His middle name is Michael. St. Michael might have just been asking. I mean, I keep trying to get all my grandsons named Michael. Now I got another grandson coming, and it's like, no, it won't be Michael. And my other daughter-in-law is pregnant. I'm so blessed. And I've already been told it won't be Michael. But St. Michael doesn't mind. I would though dedicate the child to St. Michael and to the Sacred Heart. It's not, St. Michael is not God. St. Michael is God's right-hand man. Warrior. He's there. So we don't want to honor St. Michael. He's not asking us to honor him, respect him. He's there for us to honor God, to honor Christ. So we have to be careful. But to name a child after Michael is beautiful. And to honor St. Michael and say it's in your honor, I think it's beautiful.
I think it's wonderful.
All right. We got another vote for New Jersey. All right, Tina, New Jersey it is. Aaron, like I said last time, if you need a prayer, I'm always available. Thank you, sweetheart. And that's important. Linda's voting for Delaware, and Melissa's voting for New Jersey. I ask a question. I look up in the sky and I saw an angel in the clouds. I went to see my friend. She waited for me to get there. Then she passed away. How sweet.
That was their way of telling you she was getting ready to go.
And that they were there for her and waiting for you. That's wonderful. Carla, okay, Aaron, we are up for a challenge. You're in Ohio, me, Indiana. Can we vote state lines? Well, you know what? We can do it real close to the two of you guys, like right between the two. But, you know, you got to get enough of your friends watching so that they can vote for that area, because we really don't want to go to an area and it's one person.
Next one, Melissa.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Melissa, we're going to Hawaii. The boys love. You guys are funny. Prayers, please, for my teething baby boy. Oh, sweetheart, you got him. Laurie's baby's crying up a storm. Okay, we got some yeses on the dream show, so you got it, ladies. We're going to be doing dreams next time. Gina's happy about that. Ruiz, oh, I love it. Diane, Laurie, all right, awesome, because I love dreams. I can do them every week, except Chris would quit. Oh, how cute. Aaron agrees, Carla. So Sandusky has a great spot. So, all right, so the two of you, if you want, we can combine it. Get your friends and all, though, to start voting. We need people to watch from those states so we know they're serious and would like us to come out. All right, Maria.
Butterflies are.
I know that they say cardinals are signs of those past. How about monarch butterflies? All butterflies are signs of spirits. Definitely. I was in Lebanon, like 5 years ago, during one of its calm times. And I was at the, where St. Charbel was, where he lived as a hermit. And in that country is so Christian and so Catholic, even though it's majority Muslim now. You will, everywhere you turn are Christian symbols and Catholic symbols, and that whole area were beautiful little yellow butterflies all flying around while the mass was being said, and you could hear the mass through these big speakers all around the property, and butterflies just fluttering everywhere. It was like you just knew spirits were happy to be there. And I visited many, many holy places while I was there. I mean, there was, like I said, everywhere you turned, and I was there for 2 weeks, were very spiritual, moving places, and none had the butterflies like St. Charbel's. All right, Dawn is voting for New Jersey. Albert, I am a Native American, First Nation. We are called here in Canada. I believe we get signs every day and everywhere. That is why we are supposed to keep our eyes open and our mouths shut as much as possible. Why am I telling you this? I think because you want us to shut up, but that ain't going to happen. Because I forgot all the questions on your intro and can't go back to check. Oh, by the way, hello.
Hello, Albert.
Albert, hi. I'm so glad you joined us. I really do enjoy seeing your little Facebook pictures. Albert is, like he said, First Nation. So his pictures on his little IDs are not really him. And every once in a while, he puts up some really creepy stuff, and I'll message him, ooh, don't like that picture. And I know other friends must do that to him, too. But I love that, to keep our eyes open and our mouths shut. We'll never survive. No, Chris.
That's not going to happen.
Not with Chris and I. You know, we'll do our best. We do try.
It lasts for about 30 seconds while we're praying.
Aaron is really pushing for the Ohio state line. I love it. Okay, definitely dreams, Renee. Kate, every time I see butterflies, I believe it's my grandmom. And then therefore it is your grandmom, because that's what you're putting out there. You're putting out to the universe. Butterflies are grandma, so that's how grandmom's going to respond. I'm curious, Albert says, what does deja vu mean to you? That's a good question. I never thought too much about that. Deja vu.
Deja vu to me means that they're bringing back a memory that they want you to see clearly. that might have a past meaning or a past recollection for you to learn something from, so that you don't make a mistake the second time around, or so that you can refine what you did the first time.
And I just learned recently, unfortunately, deja vu is part of dementia. So, like, that's in my head because I have a family member who's suffering from dementia. She has an awful lot of deja vu. I never really gave it much thought. I always liked what the Matrix, the movie, it's a glitch in the system. Something just got shifted in the code. So now I'm going to give that some thought though, because I would like to. I'm going to think about that and see what comes to me. I love it, Albert.
It's definitely shifted, folks.
I'm glad I can make you guys laugh. And all right, Gina. Ladies, I suggest people say city and state where they are from. This way, whatever state is in the winter, you can narrow down the town where you're going. You know, this is why Gina was such a big help for us here in South Philly. And by the way, Gina, pack your bags, because wherever we're going, you were dragging your boat with us.
Hawaii, Gina. Hawaii. Aren't you suddenly from Hawaii, not South Philadelphia?
Right. Okay, please remember to share the show. And really, if you do want us in your city and state, put that up there when you watch the show.
I feel the ocean breezes from here. I hear the water whistling away.
I feel the tsunami coming. Please share so your friends in your area can vote to have us on, to have us come out to that area also. We really do want to do this. We just think it'll be a blast. And I'm pretty sure if we end this at June, July, August, we will be able to book a place without too much trouble in a 2-month time period.
Yeah.
You know, especially if it's West Virginia in this beautiful time of year. Okay. All right, we're going to take a couple more real quick. Coda finally fell asleep. But my turn. Have a good night. Love you guys. Oh, good night, sweetheart. And Gina thinks it's a great idea, so she's going to bring the wine. Wine and cheese, it'll be a blast. Oh, this is great. We're going to have a get together. It's another state.
Hold on, Albert said
and we're all going to get drunk. Okay, Albert. In my way, I have my own teaching beliefs about deja vu, and it's totally different from what you wonderful lady said. But I was just curious. That is why I asked. I'm from, oh, you don't expect us to say that, Saskatchewan, Canada. All right, well, we'll put that down. Albert, if you can, type in what your belief is on deja vu, because I just love understanding learning from everybody. It's not just about me and Chris, as we say often, share on the show so we learn from each other. I would very much appreciate knowing what your belief is, and it might broaden my horizons a little, which is always possible. All right, we're going to be wrapping it up very soon. I had a dream we were all on the beach drinking pina coladas. Oh,
that wasn't a dream. That was a memory.
That was deja vu, right? No, that's wrong. Albert, you're funny. All right, deja vu to Lori means to me I'm in a place I'm supposed to be and on my path, on track. Oh, that's interesting. It's almost like it's reaffirming because it's deja vu. It's reaffirming. I like that. That's very interesting. I never would have thought of that. We're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
We are going to do the dream show next week. The 2 weeks after that, Chris is thinking she's going to attempt the show on her own while I'm away, which should be a blast. So you guys got to really support her and help her. And oh, wait, Albert put it in. I'll post it here pretty quickly. Okay. And even if you post it after the show, it gives us a chance to comment and read about it. I would love it. And you can vote. If this show is not live, you are still welcome to vote on the state that you're in, so that if you want us to bring our show out to you. It is reaffirmation. Oh, my gosh. So Lori and Albert, and let me throw that up there, both agree it's like reaffirmation, and I really liked how she said it. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then Marie and I feel like we had been on that beach before. You guys are wise guys. All right. Chris and I so appreciate you guys. We love you. We thank you. We ask God to bless you. And he's so blessed us by having this show and giving us a chance to make new friends and have such a great community.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.